This is going to be one of the more raw videos that I post. I understand that majority of my videos are a talk of me on a subject, and it's usually generally very raw, but this specific topic is going to be about my experience in high ticket sales. Do I think other people should do it? What my learnings are, and ultimately how to succeed in sales and in any facet in your life and my journey. So to give some backstory, before high ticket sales was doing fitness coaching for, I want to say 2 years. Then going into that, I reached a limit where all of the money I was making, I was spending on ads. So I was in this point of confliction where if I continued down the same road, I could either stop spending money on ads and make a bit less money, or keep spending money on ads. I personally wasn't cracking it. I could have continued and found the bottleneck, and I believe that I could have made that successful as well, and I do plan to. But I was at a point where I was given an opportunity to learn sales and sell fitness, and I really enjoyed the thought of being able to hone in on a skill instead of being a business owner where you're wearing 1,000 different hats. Just getting good at sales, getting good at communication, purely focusing on one specific skill, and then getting the best at that, and then building a network, getting more capital so that I can invest that, eventually being my own CEO. That being said, got given the opportunity, took it by the balls, grabbed the bull by the horns, and the first person I sent a loom to take that opportunity, I can actually put the loom up here.
Adele, I hope you're doing well. We're going to make this short and sweet because your time is valuable. You mentioned earlier this week something about hiring closers for a team. I've been thinking about it for the last few days amidst doing content, and it's an opportunity that I can't pass up. I wanted to send this video as an application, basically just letting you know that I am willing. I'm ready to put in the hours, to put in the work, to learn, to earn, to grow. Based on everything that you've told me so far, I can only imagine how far this can take me, how far my skills can grow, and ultimately, if I do join this team, I am aiming to be the #1 closer, as I do with everything in life. Not to pump my own balloon, just how it is. I try to work hard, no matter what I do. I have a certain standard, and by the sounds of it, you have that standard too, and I'd love to learn and work under someone with that same standard. That being said, you've told me so much already. I wanted to send this video. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll speak.
So that was the loom, and yeah, I had so much acne. I was a little bit more overweight as well, and I had that hunger, I had that obsession, I have that drive, and I knew that I was going to crush it. I knew that I'd be the best sales rep. I joined a team, and that team, everyone else in there had been training for 2 years. They were all women in she cells, stuff like that. Classic. And yeah, it was fun training with them, but in the first month, top rep, cool. I made like 1.4K. Super small offer. I don't know why they had like 8 reps compared to just having 1 to 2. Anyway, made 1.4K in my first month. That was February. I started February 16th. Then I saw this mentorship group called Born to Close. I saw Daniel Smythe, and I pulled the trigger March 9th. Mentorship was like 6K, and in my mind, I just knew, although I had a sales manager that was teaching me skills, and I knew that I could continue practicing that, I knew that if I invested in a mentorship, that I would exponentially grow. And on the other side of that was me making 15, 20, 25K a month. I didn't have 6K to spend. So I went into debt. Cool. That's 6K USD, which is like 10 AU. So at the time I was like, okay, cool, let's start this again. By the way, I was the type of guy working at Woolworths who saved every dollar. In my mind, I could have had a $3 like bottle of Coke, or I could have saved $3, and that's like savings. Cool, I'm closer to my goals. I would save it. And I had like 20 grand in my savings account, blah, blah, blah. Over time, slowly went down. Now I'm 60 grand in debt. I'm in this Born to Close mentorship. Then that month of March, continuing to grow, being obsessed, 10 to 12 hours of learning, and then taking sales calls. Like, sales is my life. It still is. Aside from God and the gym as well, those are very important pillars of my life. I always let that be known. But for me, I'm honing on a skill. Of course, I'm going to spend every hour of the day learning it, aside from the gym and God, which keeps me grounded. Like, if you see people's growth and why it's so quick, yeah, they're probably more natural as well, but they collapse time because they spend so much time in a shorter time period. They spend more time on it. You might spend 6 hours a day. I was doing 12. Like, you might think 6 is a lot right now, but I was doing double that. So in a week, I would get done what you get done in 2. In 2 weeks, I'd get what you got done in a month. In a year, I would get done in a year what you get done in 2. That's one thing, collapsing time. But in my next month of March, I made, I forget the specific number. It was like 7.8K, something like that. I was like, okay, I'm getting my bearings. Like, I'm feeling good, made a bit of money, cool. Then there was another investment to go to an event in Brazil. And in my mind, I was like, okay, it's kind of, it's across the world, first time traveling outside of Australia. There were many, many, many objections that I gave myself. But this was, before I got my paycheck, this was what was going on. The event in Brazil, there was one ticket left, whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm going. The ticket was 3.5K USD plus all of the flights, which was like 3 as well. So 6.5K on the event plus like food, let's just say 7K USD. So I'm real quick, 13K in debt. I was thinking about other math as well. 13K in debt before I make my first check. I asked my parents, I closed them on giving me enough money to go to this event. And I bought a laptop that was like good enough to run the calls. Bro, okay, so I'm 13K in debt. I'm going to Brazil. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm the top closer on this team. I'm doing good. I apply for another offer. I get a couple of calls. I get some more reps. I'm like really good on this company, but the top closers get 10 calls a day. The bottom get like 1 to 2. And you can't be at the top unless you've been there for a decent amount of time and you've closed a lot of deals, like cash collected wise. So I was at the bottom there, splitting my focus. Then I went to this Brazil event. I know this is kind of sporadic, but I'm just laying it all out there and I'm sure you guys are enjoying it. Oh, by the way, this is going to be my loom for the interview to get on this company. And you can see the trend, the discrepancy between my first loom, which was purely hunger, and then the second one, which was in Born to Close, where I had a framework to follow. Here's that. Based in Melbourne, Australia. Dan Smythe referred me to you directly, so I wanted to send this loom over. In the next 90 seconds, I'll show you exactly why I'd be a great fit as a closer for VShred and ultimately why. The direct answer is I'm highly driven by nature. I take extreme ownership of my results and I've already proven that I can close, which means I can plug in fast and produce revenue. For backstory, I've trained martial arts for the past 6 years, and what that taught me and continues to teach me is results are always on you. If you lose, it means that you didn't prepare enough, you didn't train enough. What that means as an offer owner or a sales manager is you're getting someone who never blames leads, never blames the offer, and does whatever it takes in their own power to improve until I'm one of the top performers on the team. I also used to be 100 pounds heavier, so I've lived the transformations that your clients are chasing. And I also used to be a fitness coach. So I've seen firsthand how one decision can absolutely transform someone's life. So I don't just sell for commission. I sell with that conviction because I used to be the person on the other side of that call. In the last 3 months, I've invested 5 figures into mentorship, trained 10 plus hours a day in sales. I'm 4 weeks into closing at Always Coach, sitting at about a 40% close rate. Dan watched me work and sent me here himself. I'm competitive, I take full ownership, and I already have proof that I can close. Give me calls and I'll produce. I don't just hit KPIs, I will consistently outperform them. That's why I'm confident I'd be a top closer for VShred. So that was the VShred specific loom video. Obviously a lot better. Anyway, I'm on VShred and I'm on Always Coach. Month of March, bang, like 7.8K. I'm about to go to Brazil. End of March, going to April, we leave. And leave my family, go across the other side of the planet. Man, that plane ride was hell. Moving on. I get to a different environment and I'm away from home. There was a lot of like bad stuff that was happening in Brazil and a lot of like sidetracks. I was like dehydrated for 24 hours. I didn't eat food because of the specific situation. So there's a lot of hard stuff, but I ended up situating myself. And then when I got to the specific event, surrounding myself with people who were not only like-minded, but at the time, like expanding my world map, because I saw them online, but seeing them face to face, seeing that they're real and what's actually achievable. Like, I know it is achievable, but seeing it in person is something else. That was pretty cool. I worked 2 weeks in the month of April because the first 2 weeks were at the event and I had to schedule my time. I couldn't like pick a call. I had to schedule the time, and there wasn't specific times that I could because of the event, or I chose not to. So I worked 2 weeks in the month of April and I made 10K. Now we're in May, cool. But yeah, 10K month, first 10K month, cool. That was the event. After the event, there was another 2K investment in like specializing skills. So I'm 13K in debt. Now I'm 15K in debt. Okay, cool. I made 7.8K in March. Cool. So I can pay off some of that. I can pay off my parents, blah, blah, blah. And the mentorship. I haven't paid off my parents yet because I haven't made enough for it. But I paid off the mentorship, half of it. Cool, make 10K. I can pay off a little bit more, divert some money. As May comes around, the event finishes, I get my 10K month check. There's skills being developed like nothing else. The event was mostly state. So when you surround yourself, like for example, if you see my videos, you see Born to Close, if you surround yourself with a group of killers, you're going to turn into one. If you see other mentorships and you're hesitant on joining, just join them. The quicker that you do it, the better. And something that I continually do, and this goes into the next part of my story, is I continually reinvest because I know the return on investment is there. Not because of the program, but because of the person. So what I want to say is, coming into the start of May, I got offered a mentorship that was 18K for the investment. And that was, quite a bit. And then I decided to do $4,500 worth of one-on-ones as well. So that's like 22.5K. So up until this point, I've invested like 36.5 to 39.5K. Yes. USD. And I've made like freaking, 10, 17. I haven't even made 20K yet. So I've gone into this debt. But deep down, I know that I'm already making 20, 30, 40, 50K a month. So in my brain and in my reality, it's, why would I not invest $18,000 in a mentorship that's going to get me to 50K per month quicker? Like every month that you don't make 20 to 50K, you're missing out on the balance. If you currently make 10K per month and you're not investing in a mentorship that you know is going to get you there quicker, get to 30K quicker, then every single month you wait, you're missing out on 20K per month. If you wait 3 months, that's $60,000 that you're missing out on. So in my mind and the way that I conduct myself, and this is why I talk with such conviction on calls, and I can hold people to the standard because I hold myself to that standard, is if you actually want to be successful and you believe in yourself, you're going to invest into yourself because you know you are the biggest ROI if you invest into yourself. If you know that you invest into this mentorship, you trust yourself to take lessons from them to make you more money, why would you not invest the money? So that's number 2. First of all is collapsing time. Second of all is investing in yourself even if you don't have the money. Go into debt so that you can make more money. I'm not saying put yourself on the street. But what I am saying is if you really know that you are going to be successful, all you need is the right skills, and you trust yourself to put in the work, why would you not invest right now to put yourself in that position? So I invested 22.5K, very fun. Now on my looms, I can say I've invested 35 plus K in the past 90 days. 73 days into high ticket sales, I made 10K per month. Like that's the cool thing. Now we're at the end of May, I'm on a new offer, one that is better in terms of opportunity. There's a lot of hard days though. Like I'm not going to disagree. You see the 0 to 12.7K per month in 73 days and you're like, wow, this guy, it's not bad. But there were a lot of days, there was one day where I felt like actually this wasn't going to work out. I'm not good, blah, blah, blah. And on those specific days, when you reframe yourself, you gain that much more confidence. because you know that regardless of the circumstance, you are going to follow through. So when I push through on that day, going into conviction in the next few days, not letting calls affect my mentality, but my inputs, not putting my value on the close, but putting my value on my effort and how Jesus sees me, then that ultimately puts me in the better position. So now I'm at the point where the mentorship that I joined on March 9th, 2 months later, I get offered a role to be one of their coaches to help them grow. And they've seen my obsession. They've seen my hunger. They see my drive. I like to call it obsession, devotion. It's not motivation. You can say it's discipline, but it's devotion because I'm devoted to this. They see that. Therefore, I get an opportunity, luck, and I've taken advantage of the opportunity. If you want to be successful in high ticket sales, know that it's going to be difficult. It's not what it's made out to be. But know that if you're the type of person that will do the work, just like any business model, you're going to be successful. And yeah, you can do e-commerce. Yeah, you can do drop shipping. Yeah, you can do all of the other methods, and they all work. But in my personal opinion, sales is the biggest return on investment that you'll ever do, because you master the art of communication, if you're good, of influence, and you learn so much more so that you can actually crush any business. Because since I'm good at sales and since I continue to grow, that's going to serve me in any single business that I do, and it will continue to. Going forward, my projection is 30K a month within the next 2 months. 2.5 months. Yeah. No, I'm convicted 2.5 months. We've got Miami coming up, which is another investment, which is great. I love it. We're going to be crushing it in Miami. That's going to be for the same Born to Close group. But ultimately, God is at the center of it. I give all my credit to God. Like, I would not be here without Him, in terms of God gives you the opportunity, He gives you the talent, and then it's your role to plant the seed. It's your role to take advantage of the talent and make a return on investment. Without God, you don't get the opportunity, but know that it's in your control to take advantage of the opportunity. For the people watching, I'm not sure what questions you might have. This is purely a bird's eye view of like my journey, what it's been so far, where it will go in the next few months. In terms of sacrifice, yeah, I'm waking up at 1 a.m. I'm going to bed before 5 p.m. My sister and my dad get home at like 6 p.m. so I don't even get to see them. A lot of people would say that's like where they draw the line. They don't need to be that obsessed. And although it may be true, and I might look back and regret doing it, I don't think I will, because I know that even the bad things that I've done, I don't regret, because I know it's built me to the person I am. I know what the return on investment will be. I know that me waking up at 1 a.m. every single day means that I'm more obsessed than anybody else. I'm more devoted than anybody else. I'm going to win, which means I can retire my parents. I can buy them a house. I can speak with conviction. I can fall asleep at night knowing that I did everything that I could possibly do that day to push the needle forward. And when you can wake up and look yourself in the mirror and know that you've done everything in your power to achieve your goals, that's something that money can't buy. Same thing with fitness, abs. You look in the mirror, you're happy because your physique. Not idolizing your body, but knowing that you put effort into taking care of it. Money can't buy that. Yes, the 30K per month is going to be cool, but I think what's even cooler is seeing the progression. Knowing that I'm doing everything that I can. And it will take sacrifice. And that's something that I'm battling with. Do I embrace my inner Hormozi? The one who just sacrifices everything to get to their goals? Or do I embrace my inner Tony Robbins? The one that says, I don't need to not be happy. I can continue to be happy and still reach my goals. So I think this would be an interesting journey. Whoever's watching this, watching me grow, which road will I go down? I think you probably know. Since I'm Christ-oriented, I think we all know where it's going to go. But nevertheless, there's still that daily challenge of, I know I can get more work done. I know I can get more money if I sacrifice X. And people judge you for it. People criticize you. People don't understand. But to be exceptional, you must be an exception. Clip that and put that on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not going to cut this out, but to all the people who are going through it, know that this is the price. Like, the cost of success is this. It's difficult, but if it were easy, everybody would do it. Lesson 1 is collapse time. Instead of doing 2 hours every day, over the span of 2 years, do 12 hours every day and do it in 6 months. I forget what lesson 2 and lesson 3 are, but I'm sure you've written it down. You've got your silver bullets. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.